Okay, good morning and namaste everyone. It's me Arjun Pokhrel, science teacher of Sagarmatha Secondary School. Dear students, how are you? I hope you all are fine, you all are healthy, and you all are staying at home, and you all are watching my class regularly. Today I am here with a new video of class 8, and the name of the chapter is Matter. And in the previous class we have already discussed about some of the terms which are used in matter. Okay, what do you mean by matter, what do you mean by pure substance, and what do you mean by impure substance, and atom, which we have already discussed in the previous class. First of all, I'm going to discuss about atom here. And in the previous class we have already discussed about some of the terms of the atom, as meaning of atom, okay, and example of the atom. Atom are made up of tiny particles, elements are made up of tiny particles called atom. Okay, atom is the smallest particle of the element which can take part in chemical reaction. Okay, atom is the smallest particle of the element. Okay, smallest particle of the element which take part in the chemical reaction. All the atoms of an element are same. Okay, for example, all the atoms of the sodium, all the atoms of potassium, all the atoms of hydrogen are same. Okay, but atoms of one element differ from the atoms of another element. For example, atoms of sodium differ from atoms of hydrogen. All the atoms of sodium are same, but the atoms of sodium differ from the atoms of hydrogen. Atoms of one element, okay, differs from the atom of another element. Okay, here you can see the atomic structure of one element. This is the carbon element. Okay, there are altogether 118 elements, and the atom of these all 118 elements differ from each other. Okay, there are 118 elements, and atoms of all these elements differ from each other, which we have already discussed in the previous class. Some atom can exist freely in nature, helium, neon, argon, and some cannot exist freely in nature. For example, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, up to this we have already discussed in the previous class, and now I'm going to discuss about first of all atom versus molecules. Okay, here you can see atom of helium. This is the atom of helium, and a molecule of hydrogen. Okay, H represents hydrogen, He represents helium. Okay, helium means helium element. Okay, this is the symbol of helium. H represents symbol of hydrogen. Okay, here O represents symbol of oxygen. Atom of helium, single atom of helium, molecule. Okay, atom combine each other, okay, to form molecule. And here compound, oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen, H2O. Water is a compound. It is formed by two elements of hydrogen and one element of oxygen. Okay, water is a compound. It is formed by two elements of hydrogen and one element of oxygen, so it is a compound. Okay, I will discuss about molecule and compound now. First of all, here you can see one slide, elements and atoms. The smallest particle of an element that has the properties of that element is called the atom, or which take part in the chemical reaction. Smallest particle of the element which take part in the chemical reaction is known as atom. Atom is the smallest particle of the element which take part in chemical reaction. Okay, atom is the smallest particle of the element. Okay, what do you mean by element? Element is the pure substance, okay, which can neither be broken down into simpler form. Okay, which cannot be broken down into simpler form. Element is the pure substance. Atom is the smallest particle of the element which, okay, has the property of that element, and which take part in the chemical reaction. That is the atom. Atom are the building block of matter. It means matter are made up of large number of atoms. Atom of the same element are alike, which I have already told you, and the different elements are different. Okay, atom of the same element are same, and the atoms of the different elements are different. Now I'm going to discuss about element. Okay, element is a pure substance that cannot be reduced to simpler substance by normal chemical means, and that is composed of atoms having an identical number of proton in each nucleus. Okay, having an identical number of proton in each nucleus. Okay, I have already told you about the nucleus of the atom. Okay, I have already told you about the nucleus of the atom. In the nucleus of the atom, it consists of proton and neutron. Okay, nucleus contains proton and neutron. A substance that cannot be reduced to simpler substance. Okay, a substance that cannot be reduced to simpler substance by normal chemical means, and that is composed of atoms having an identical number of proton in each nucleus is known as element. Okay, a substance that cannot be reduced to simpler substance. Okay, cannot be reduced into simpler substance. For example, gold is the element. Okay, iron is the element. Hydrogen is the element. Helium is the element. That cannot be reduced to simpler substance. Gold cannot be reduced into simpler substance. Okay, iron cannot be reduced into simpler substance by chemical means, normal chemical means, and that is composed of atoms and having an identical number, same number of proton in each nucleus. Example, hydrogen, oxygen, copper, gold. Okay, because they are the element, because they cannot be broken into other matters, simpler substance. Okay, that's why these all are the element. An element is composed of atoms that have the same atomic number. An element is composed of atoms that have the same atomic number, that is, each atom has the same number of proton in its nucleus. Okay, as all other atoms of that element. Understand? An element is composed of atoms. Okay, for example, element of for example, gold element is composed of large number of atoms that have the same atomic number. Okay, for example, atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That is, each atom has the same number of proton. Number of proton in hydrogen is also 1 in its nucleus as all other atoms of that element, of the same element, of the same element means of the hydrogen. Okay, an element is composed of atoms that have the same atomic number, that is, each atom has the same number of proton in its nucleus. Okay, and all other atoms of that element. There are altogether 92 elements found in the nature, and 26 elements have been prepared artificially by scientists. Okay, there are 92 elements found in nature, and 26 elements have been prepared artificially, and total 92 plus 26. Okay, now altogether 118 elements. Okay, are found, including both natural as well as artificial. Okay, including both natural as well as artificial. Altogether, how many elements? 118 elements. Okay, 92 elements are found in nature, and 26 elements have been prepared artificially. Okay, 92 elements are found in nature, and 26 elements have been prepared artificially, and altogether 118 elements. Okay, elements are what? Pure substance that cannot be reduced into simpler form. For example, gold, copper. Okay, all the atoms of the element are same, identical. Okay, having same number of proton. There are 92 elements found in nature, and 26 elements have been prepared by scientists artificially. Altogether there are 118 elements. Okay, there are altogether 118 elements, including both natural as well as artificial. Dear students, now I am going to discuss about molecules. Okay, we have already discussed about atom and element, and another term which is frequently used in the chemistry, and the term is molecules. A molecule is the simplest particle of an element or a compound. Okay, molecule is the smallest particle of the element or compound which can exist freely or independently. Okay, molecule is the smallest particle of an element, smallest particle of an element or the smallest particle of a compound. Okay, sometimes smallest particle of element, sometimes smallest particle of a compound, which can exist freely or independently in the nature. Okay, a molecule is made up of two or more than two atoms. A molecule of an element is formed by the combination of two or more similar atoms. Okay, for element, a molecule of an element is formed by the combination of two or more similar atoms. For example, oxygen molecule is formed by two oxygen atoms, similar atoms of the oxygen, two similar atoms of oxygen. Okay, O2. Okay, molecule of the oxygen is formed by two similar atoms of oxygen. A molecule is made up of two or more than two atoms. Then a molecule of an element is formed by the combination of two or more similar atoms. Okay, molecule of an element is formed by combination of two or more what? Similar atoms. And the molecule of a compound is formed by combination of two or more dissimilar atoms. Molecule of element is formed by similar atoms. Molecule of compound is formed by dissimilar atoms. Okay, molecule of the element is formed by similar atoms, two or more than two, and molecule of the compound is formed by dissimilar atoms. Okay, what do you mean by atom? Atom is the smallest particle of the element, okay, which can take part in chemical reaction. Okay, which can take part in chemical reaction. For example, a water molecule is formed by the combination of two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. Okay, molecule of the compound is formed by two or more than two dissimilar atoms. Okay, dissimilar atom means one hydrogen atom, another oxygen atom. These two atoms are dissimilar. Okay, atom of hydrogen differ from the atom of oxygen, which we have already discussed. Okay, atom of hydrogen differ from the atom of oxygen. Molecule of the compound is formed by two or more than two dissimilar atoms. But the molecule of the element is formed by two or more than two similar atoms. Molecule of element, for example, oxygen molecule O2, hydrogen molecule H2, nitrogen molecule N2, okay, chlorine molecule Cl2, molecule of a compound, water molecule H2O, okay, common salt molecule sodium chloride, molecule of glucose C6H12O6, like this. And dear students, now I am going to discuss about compound, another term that is also used in the chemistry. And a compound is a substance formed when two or more chemical elements are chemically bonded together. Chemically bonded. Okay, a compound is a substance formed when two or more chemical elements are chemically bonded together. Not physically, they are also bonded chemically. Okay, a mixture, but the mixture, in case of mixture, the substances present are not chemically bonded. Okay, for example, in case of sugar solution, in case of salt solution, the water and the salt or the water and sugar, okay, they are not chemically bonded. Okay, but in case of water, hydrogen and oxygen, these two elements are chemically bonded. Okay, the element in any compound are always present in fixed ratio. The element in any compound are always present in the fixed ratio, fixed proportion. Okay, compound can be decomposed chemically into their constituent elements. Chemically, not physically, compounds can be decomposed chemically into their constituent elements. For example, water can be decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen by electrolysis of water. Okay, water can be decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen by electrolysis of water. Example, pure water, salt, glucose, these are the compound. Okay, example, pure water is a compound made from two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, compound is a substance which is formed by two or more than two elements, and these two or more than two elements are present in the compound in the fixed ratio. Okay, not in the random ratio, in the fixed ratio. The ratio of hydrogen to oxygen in water is always 2:1. Okay, it means 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen combined together to form H2O, water. Each molecule of water contains 2 hydrogen atoms bonded to a single oxygen atom. Okay, chemically bonded between hydrogen and oxygen, so as to form water. Okay, pure water is a compound because it is formed by two things that you need to remember. Compound is formed by the combination of elements, one thing, and another thing, the elements are combined in their fixed ratio. Okay, compound is formed by the combination of elements, and elements are combined in their fixed ratio. And another thing also that you need to remember, these elements are chemically bonded. Okay, there should be the bond between the elements, either covalent bond or the electrovalent bond. Okay, there should be bond between the elements. These elements are chemically bonded, and there is fixed ratio of the elements in the compound, and compounds are formed by not only two elements, two or more than two elements. Okay, not only two elements, two or more than two elements. Another example, pure table salt is compound made from two elements, sodium and chlorine, NaCl. Okay, the ratio of sodium ion to chlorine ion in sodium chloride is always 1:1. 1 atom of sodium and 1 atom of chlorine combined together to form the compound, and that is common salt, sodium chloride. Another example, methane is a compound made from two elements, carbon and hydrogen. Okay, and their ratio 4:1. Okay, CH4, 4 atom of hydrogen and 1 atom of carbon combined together in their fixed ratio. Okay, CH4. Another example, the pure glucose is a compound made from three elements, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. The ratio of hydrogen to carbon and oxygen is in glucose is always 2:1:1. Okay, C6H12O6, that is the molecular formula of glucose, C6H12O6. Okay, their ratio 2:1:1. Okay, the number of atoms of hydrogen is 2 times more than the number of atoms of carbon and oxygen, C6H12O6, 1:1 ratio. Okay, water, glucose, methane, salt, these all are the compound because these all are formed by the combination of elements. Okay, 2 or more than 2 elements in the fixed ratio, not in the random ratio. Okay, in the what? Fixed ratio. So these all are the compounds. Okay, so these all are the compound. Water is the compound, salt is the compound, methane is the compound, glucose is the compound, because these all are formed by the combination of elements. Okay, 2 or more than 2 elements in the fixed ratio, not in the random ratio, and these elements are chemically bonded. Okay, and these elements are chemically bonded. Dear students, here you can see the difference between mixture and the compound. Okay, dear students, here you can see the difference between mixture and compound. Components can be separated by physical methods in case of mixture. Okay, elements in a compound cannot be separated by physical methods, can be separated by chemical methods. Okay, properties, same properties as its components. Properties are unique and different from its element. The property of water differ from the property of hydrogen and the property of oxygen. Okay, properties are unique. No chemical change takes place when a mixture is formed. A chemical reaction takes place when a compound is formed. Okay, MP and BP, melting point and boiling point. Melting and boiling point of the mixture is variable, not constant. Sometimes very high, sometimes low. But the melting and boiling point of the compound is fixed. Okay, composition does not have a fixed composition, has a fixed composition. Elements in the compound are in the fixed ratio, fixed proportion, fixed composition. For example, mixture, sugar solution, salt solution. Okay, these are the mixture. Air contains different gases, that is also mixture. Compounds, water is the compound, common salt is the compound. Okay, glucose is the compound. These are the compound. Okay, dear students, only this much for today. I will come with the next video in the next class. And if you have any confusion regarding this lesson, you can ask me about your problems in the Facebook. Okay, and this was for today. Bye bye.